The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Business and the economy were also tackled in the recently concluded ASEAN Summit. Let's discuss this some more with Joey Concepcion, Chairman of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council for the Philippines. Sir Joey, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Among the topics discussed in the ASEAN Summit, of course, were developing MSMEs and digitalization. Can you share with us what key points were discussed and if you were satisfied with the targets that have been set?
Well, definitely, Sean, I was quite happy with the results because every year we present to the ASEAN leaders, there are 10 of them. President Marcos, his first time to attend the ASEAN event since he became president. And my position to the ASEAN leaders was to really push for our program, which we call the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurship Network. It is similar to what we're doing here in the Philippines, where we help our MSMEs scale up because the objective is to generate more jobs for our people. And so for the past over close to 2 years now, that program has been funded by JAIF. It's a Japan agency fund, and we are on our second phase. So I explained to the leaders the goal of equal opportunity or creating prosperity, that we don't stop at our own countries being more prosperous, but we have to look at not leaving any other country behind. The 10 ASEAN countries being, let us do it together and help those who are lagging behind move up the ladder. And so, MSMEs are the heart of job generation. That's very clear. In fact, contribution to the GDP is quite high. The GDP contribution there is about 45% and 85% on employment. So 99% are MSMEs. In most of the countries, and they truly supported that move. The MSMEs play a very important role in the countries being able to create equal opportunities. And to them, digitalization is the other thing that I presented. And it's the game changer that makes the platform makes it easier for us to really get more people to give that chance to access money, which we are now, many are moving towards that direction through GCash, Maya, and in other countries they have similar formats. So the debit card has really changed the way forward for people to really transact digitally. And of course, mentorship programs are now moving online. Our mentoring programs with DTI and DARE are basically all online. So, and now through AMEN, the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurship Network, the same program will be done online with different countries participating in that program. And of course, market, which is a very important, where you sell your products. You've got Lazada, Shopee, and so many others coming out. Young kids starting up their own market platforms. So they were very supportive, all 10 of them.
All right. What about any interesting developments perhaps in the area of agriculture? Were rice importation deals mentioned with some of the more technologically advanced ASEAN nations, at least in terms of rice production and agricultural production?
So we had a meeting with the Cambodian business delegation. It was a side meeting on top of the ASEAN meetings that were formally organized. So DTI and Go Negotia, we helped them put this meeting together. And the president gave his speech and this was maybe about 14 to 15 of the Cambodian businessmen, the top businessmen there, who were very impressed with our president. And he said that his first statement also was basically we really have to help our micro and small farmers. And Cambodia is one of the biggest rice producers, in the area. And but the rice that comes, actually the rice that we bring in from Vietnam is actually Cambodian rice, and we were surprised, to know that. So what Vietnam does is Cambodia exports the rice to Vietnam. Vietnam processes the rice and exports it to the Philippines. So we discussed that why not make the Philippines process the rice, no? So we can buy directly from Cambodia and allow the Philippines to learn the technology in rice processing. And I'm sure we would have a number of entrepreneurs here who would like to go in that field. That was one the president mentioned. And I suggested that maybe they can also help us, help our farmers, teach them on how to become one of the lowest cost producers of rice in the world, no? And Cambodia is definitely one of those. No? So the Cambodians were very open to it, and the president also assured the Cambodians that he believes in public-private partnerships, no? And he was telling them that the ease of doing business is there. If there are any problems, you can raise it up to, even with us, in the ASEAN Business Advisory Council Philippines, we will follow through what the discussions and commitments were made during that meeting. No? So the Cambodians were very excited, and I think we should attract more of our ASEAN neighbors as investors to the Philippines.
Right, very well said, sir. Now, drilling down to specifics, were there any significant trade agreements or business deals that we can actually expect to materialize coming out of this first trip of President Marcos to an ASEAN summit?
Well, for the meeting with the Cambodian delegation, the business group, that was the first meeting. So we will follow through and check out the level of interest. I'm sure there will be, because they were really pushing and wanted to meet the president. But most of these meetings were on our side. We meet our fellow counterparts from all the 9 other countries, and we discuss many things. And of course, the discussions are mainly on ASEAN policies moving forward, priority sectors, what we have to do. In my case, MSME, digitalization, etc. No? So there's a logistics, the legacy project of Singapore. Ms. Robert Yap is setting up huge logistics facilities in the 10 ASEAN countries, and he has a joint venture with us here in cold storage, and he's setting a huge one down in Cambodia. So we were encouraging him to set up the same thing in the Philippines as well. So every year we get to have these meetings and try to collaborate and see what our opportunities, each one can help one another. But what is very important is that I think the president did a good job in really explaining his vision for the country, wanting to see an equal opportunity for our Filipino people, and being self-sufficient in rice, etc., and all of that. So I think the message was very clearly understood by everyone.
All right, good to hear. This brings me, Sir Joey, to my next question. The president said that he is still undecided on the matter of his attendance in the World Economic Forum. Do you have any insight on this? Is any delegation pushing through with or without the president? And is he inclined to go? And if not, would you know why not?
No, I wouldn't know. The World Economic Forum is handled by the leadership there is Charles Schwab. I attended that many years ago when I was maybe invited. So I don't know whether he would. Of course, it is in the coldest time of the year in Switzerland. So it all depends whether there will be any conflict. But needless to say, I think the president has met so many leaders that were in the ASEAN, and he's going to APEC, which is in Thailand, and the G20 as well. So I think he'll be meeting quite a number of people, the right people, in the next coming events. So he's done with ASEAN. He's, I think, moving to APEC, and then you have the G20. So all the who's who and the most important people will be there. The WEF is a bonus. If he attends, great. If he doesn't attend, I don't think it's going to affect anything. I think what's important is he is meeting with the right leaders at this point in time, which is very important, especially as we are trying to move towards a more prosperous nation. We really need the help of every country out there.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Joey Concepcion, Chairman of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council for the Philippines. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you.
World leaders are now facing a slew of issues, from the future of work to climate and security. Bloomberg discusses that and more in this report.
Sustainability, resilience, and security. So many big global issues that today's leaders are facing. We're here in Singapore for the New Economy Forum to talk through some of these issues and try to come up with some solutions.
First and foremost at the top of the list is the cost of food and energy globally. How on earth do we bring that down? Is there a way to relieve the pressure that countries in the emerging markets feel because the currencies are so weak against the US dollar and it costs them that much more to buy food and energy that's in short supply? Number two, I would say, is the rising tension level between the United States and China. And how is that going to play out regionally? How is that going to play out in terms of security? We know that there's this existential question hanging over Taiwan, but the potential ramification committed to getting there and spending all that money when it now requires a much higher return on investment to beat the rate that you get on simple fixed income.
So all of those three are huge, huge problems. What do we hope to take away from the New Economy Forum? Are we going to talk about it? Will there be a plan at the end? What do we get out of this?
Look, nobody would be happier than me if we came out of the New Economy Forum with a set of, at the very least, practical solutions to some of these problems. We can create what I'd like to call an open space, right? Unencumbered by, sort of cultural differences, where people can feel comfortable engaging with one another, free of the, let's call it the sort of the political distractions that they often find themselves hemmed in by in their home markets. This is neutral ground. This is Singapore. There's a reason we're having this event here in Singapore.
Suspended Bucor Chief Gerald Bantag has yet to formally reach out to authorities over his alleged involvement in the Percy Lapid murder case. PNP spokesperson Colonel Jean Fajardo told One Balita Pilipinas that they are still waiting for Bantag's written counter-affidavit. The suspended Bucor chief earlier told News 5 that he is willing to surrender once an arrest warrant has been issued, and if Justice Secretary Boying Remulla steps down from office.
Mas makakabuti po, ma'am, na doon natin sa proper forum sagutin yung kanyang mga ibibigay na mga detalye regarding dito sa kaso ni Percy Lapid at pati na rin po dito sa napatay na middleman po na si June Villamor.
Fajardo also said that they are working double time to locate Bucor Deputy Security Officer Ricardo Zulueta, who has been in hiding after being linked to Percy Lapid's ambush.
Nung pinuntahan po ng ating kapulisan yung kanyang last known address ay base po sa certification po na inilabas po ng barangay kung saan po siya huling nakatala na nakatira po ay hindi na daw po doon umuwi.
And for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.